Thank you, friends, Shabbat Shalom, and greetings to you all. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is Thriller Night. Now, who doesn't remember that scene with the great MJ and the zombies from the original video, and then from 13 going on 30? I still enjoy that classic. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Now, what a week this is. It begins with Halloween, the dentist's favorite holiday, when you dress as who you want to be or who you really are. And it ends with the wrap-up of daylight savings time. You know, an event no one understands anymore when we allow the clock to fall back again and gain an hour of sleep. Although you're so anxious not to miss it, you stay up all night to set the clock, so you probably lose more sleep than you gain. And in between is Ellen's birthday. It's one of my personal favorite holidays in the year. And I hope, as I'm sure all of you do too, that she has an awesome birthday. And her birthday heralds the new moon. And new moons are for bringing in new energy. And the energy of the month ahead is about our karma. So give it some thought. And new moons were the first holidays to be celebrated by the people who left Egypt during the Exodus, and still mark a time when we gather as like-minded group, a community, a collective consciousness of seekers who show faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a true chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we're always individual in our approach, we're always seeking to learn new things, each connecting in his or her own way. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. And community is so important, my friends. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. The world is a giant community. This is your setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. And we all believe in something. It's part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. And goodwill and intention are the only root things that you can control. What you can correct if you find you've gone off the path. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light and some healing and energy of renewal out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. It floats through space, finding those in need. Send it out. For those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love, think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their name. It's not just for people. It's for our pets, for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal the world. It's not something we can complete. It is just an ongoing task to be dealt with in every lifetime. It's for us to do our own part. Each of us individually. Improve what we can improve. Change your own little corner of the world, my friends, because as you change yourself, you change the conditions of your life. Part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. You don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for my new special friend Eve, for Joey, and Aurelia, for Leanne and Daniel, for Connie and Snoopy, for Terry and Sky, for James and Dave, who's welcoming his granddaughter Letitia, for Monica, who thinks she lost something very special to her, but didn't, for our special sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know and need, for the whole world, and for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He is healed before. Mishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. A dear great friend of mine, and a mentor, died the other day, Rabbi Monty. Beautiful soul, a loving family man, dear scholar, and a phenomenal teacher. Baruch Dayan Ha'amet, short for Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Dayan Ha'amet. Blessed is the true judge. And remember, friends, all that God does, He does for the good, even when we don't see good in something. So there's always good. And I'll miss Him. We'll all miss Him. So let's all sit back as we continue with this family we met, and which the story seems to have settled on. As this week we read Chaiya Sarah, the life of Sarah, the wife of Abraham, the first of the patriarchs. And it's a parsha that really has nothing to do with Sarah. It's about love, death, happiness, transitions, soulmates. Now here's the order that you read this parsha. It begins with Sarah's death and burial. Then it goes to tell the story of Isaac's marriage to Rebekah. And then Abraham's marriage to somebody named Keturah and his new family with her. And it ends with the death of Abraham and a changing of the guard as Isaac and Ishmael come together to bury their father. However, it's terribly out of order. If it were written as history, here's how it would have been read. We'd have learned of Abraham's marriage to Keturah and his children with her, which, given the history of multiple wives, he likely was married to her while married to Sarah, whose death we then read about. Then Abraham dies, and finally, Isaac marries Rebekah. And interestingly, the writers of the Talmud actually felt Keturah, who was mentioned only this once, may very well have been the true love of Abraham's life, and not his sister Sarah. And they also suggested that Keturah was probably Hagar. Well, can't you see that you were born to stand by my side? I was born to be with you. You were born to be my bride. You're the other half of what I am. You're the missing piece, and I love you more than ever with that love that does not cease. Well, they either took an incredible leap, or they had information we no longer have, which is certainly more likely. Now, there was a reason to take history and change it. By doing so, the emphasis changes from a continuous story or history to lessons. Love wins, Genesis 25:1. And Abraham went on and took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she gave birth to Zimran and Jokshan and Medan and Midian and Ishbak and Shuapform. Strength is not gender-based. In an unusual telling of the betrothal scene, we see the complete reversal of the betrothal ritual, but with a surrogate this time. It's just so different from anything you will ever come across. The groom is nowhere to be found, as we see that the female is the strong one. Forgiveness. The brother who rightfully should have inherited and got nothing held no grudge. He's the first example of the forgiveness ritual being exercised in the Bible. Genesis 24:36. And my Lord's wife Sarah gave birth to a son by my Lord in her old age, and he has given him everything that he has. Love, individual strength, forgiveness. These are the lessons of 4,000 years ago, and aren't these the same lessons of today? I think so. Genesis 23:1. And Sarah's life was 100 years and 20 years and 7 years. The years of Sarah's life, and Sarah died. In Kiriath Arba, it is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to grieve for Sarah and to weep for her. That's all we learn of Sarah. And Abraham wants to bury her, so he arranges to buy a tomb. There's some pretty incredible tombs you can see. Grant's tomb in New York, Napoleon's tomb in Paris, a truly incredible building. The Valley of the Kings in Luxor. But perhaps the most famous of all, the Cave of Machpelah, the Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron. Certainly it's the most controversial of all. Genesis 23:19. And after that, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, at the cave of the field of Machpelah, facing Mamre. It is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Now this little story establishes ownership to the land, still disputed to this day. And it emphasizes that there is an order to things, to life, a timeline we all instinctively know. Birth, growth, youthful adventures, education, career, marriage, and family. Watching our kids grow and following the same process, their careers, their families, which often are part and parcel of our legacies. For those who recognize real legacy is in the people, not the things. As we wind down, enjoy our grandchildren and retirement, further explore the balance of life and time with our soulmate, get ready for the inexorable transition to a further existence, which we do not fully comprehend. There is a natural, expected order to time, to everything. Turn, turn, turn. There is a reason. Turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. There is an order, natural order to life. And as inexorable time moves on, it is now Abraham's turn. Genesis 24:2. And Abraham said to a servant, the elder of his house, who was in charge of all that he had, place your hand under my thigh, and I'll have you swear by he who causes to be God of the skies and God of the earth, that you won't take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I live, but you'll go to my land, my birthplace, take a wife for my son, for Isaac. This is a deathbed promise. It's full of controversy. We think of Abraham as being from Ur of the Chaldees, but his unnamed servant, who we are later told is named Eliezer, he goes to Haran and not Ur. Now, it's not worth sweating over. Was Eliezer lazy? Maybe he didn't want to go all that way to Ur. Did the biblical description of Abraham being from the Chaldees mean his ancestral family, but not him personally? He was personally born in Haran. Maybe. Maybe again, it is multiple stories woven together. You weren't there. And if you were, maybe you don't remember. Friends, don't sweat the small stuff. It really does not matter where Abraham's birth home was. What you need to take from this is This is a deathbed promise. The putting of the hand under the thigh and swearing, we see it later. The deathbed promise when Joseph promises to move the body of Jacob out of Egypt. That's why this parsha cannot be understood in the order in which we read it. Abraham did not send his son off to find a wife. He had his servants swear he would go find Isaac a wife. Isaac did not marry during his mother or father's lifetime. This parsha marks a transition from one patriarch to another, from one head of the family to another. And the least understood biblical character, major or minor. And that is what is so unique. This is about a major character, Isaac, one of the three patriarchs. We know nothing of him. He never left his home. He had only one wife. That alone makes him unusual for the time. He was named by God, not his parents. The events that defined him were done to him, not by him. None of them were his choice. First, at 8 days old, he was circumcised, the first to be, per the Abrahamic covenant. As a lad, he was taken to be sacrificed. And we hear nothing about him after the angel stayed Abraham's knife. He didn't even return from that fateful day with his father. These had to have a hell of an effect on him. And he didn't go to find a wife. One was brought to him instead, and that also is unusual. Born a poor young country boy, mother named your son. All day long, sitting singing songs for everyone. He was an unusual character. The second of the patriarchs, wandered the fields, never worked, never did anything. We know nothing. But the transfer of power is not to him. It is to his wife, Rebecca. She becomes the head of the family. And as poor a term as it might be, she may be the first feminist. Although I prefer to simply think of her as someone who exercised her own personal power and strength, as so often happens in all of our relationships. And who will exhibit characteristics of Lady Macbeth or perhaps Lucretia Borgia. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do. Learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns that weave through the patterns of our lives. It's our own effort to grow, to learn to be to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. You got it from the bite of the fruit, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you, that you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body, expand the heart, quiet the mind, because your deepest source of real power, it lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you because you're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. Be generous with them. As you bless others, you bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole, connected to one big heart. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone's always there for you, whether you know it or not, and continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean just to you, not to anybody else, but you, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, and we help each other because we are, each of us, trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God or his angels as they talk to you. They always do, whether you know it or not. Enjoy this month of karma and learning and of transformation, and enjoy the holiday of Halloween, and eat as much junk as you want. And of course, use this opportunity of costuming yourself to show the world who you want to be or who you really are. And my friends, always wear the mask of truth. The scene was rocking, oh, we're digging the sound. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Cryptic Five. He did the mash, he did the monster mash, the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash, he did the mash. It caught on in a flash, he did the mash, did the monster mash. Well, thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week, a spooky week. Keep sharing the light, keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving, believe in yourself and in love. Have a little faith. Continue to spread a little goodwill to the world. And you may not realize it, but you are the miracle in someone's life. And show them who you are or who you want to be. Shabbat shalom. And blessings to you all. Take care. We'll see you again soon.